what we had to do basically is to kind of revisit the entire process. So, again, not being a banker helps a lot in this business. So, we basically said, okay, what do you do as a bank, right? You find a borrower. So the question is, okay, can't you find a borrower on the mobile phone? Because everybody in this country has a phone. They fill out a loan application. So, hey, why can't you use Aadhaar and e-signature and other alternate sources of data rather than just the traditional ones? Can't you collect the data from the phone? And can you underwrite, right? So why do you need a human being? Now, what is so smart about this person? Can you take that knowledge and capture the rule and put it in a computer? I mean, computers can do amazing things. And surely this is not rocket science to underwrite a simple credit card or a credit application. How do you verify the information? So today we have Aadhaar and e-sign. And again, we're very fortunate to be starting this company in 2015 or 2016 because all these platforms have been built, right? So 3 years ago, this would have been unthinkable. Just continuing along, basically to not only underwrite, to disburse the money. How do you give the money? So today they will NEFT into your bank account, right? So, but can we do something different? Why do you need to do a credit card? Can you do something on the phone? Right? So how do you give money? And how do you get the money back? Right? Obviously, that's the most important thing. Can we use UPI or some of these new innovations? So we basically revisited every part of the chain except the first one, which is how do you get money? Like how do you raise capital? There are companies which are innovating there. MoneyTap chose not to. But one of the innovation there is crowdsourcing, right? So it's called peer-to-peer lending. We've decided not to do that. We have decided to partner with the banks, but do everything else. So again, we're very, very focused. We're not solving the problem of banking in general. We're not solving the problem of credit in general. We're not solving like gold loans or any other secure form of credit. Only unsecured, only consumer. But let's do this really, really well. That was kind of our focus. And let's use whatever is existing rails and build on top of it. So one very interesting thing, which is an India-only feature, and again, I've run businesses in 20 countries as a part of Snapfish. So every country is slightly different, but our country is really different and really unique when it comes to this particular aspect, which is in a credit card product. If you look at a piece of credit card that I have, so in a credit card, the magnetic stripe is kind of a payment instrument, which means money goes from one person to one bank to another bank, or a bank to a merchant, or point A to point B. And there is an identity here as well, which is my name, right? And my credit worthiness. Am I worth 10,000 rupees? Am I worth 20,000 rupees? Am I worth 5 lakhs? Right? So there's an aspect of credit and there's an aspect of payment. And in India, these two are split, right? And this is specifically what I mean by that. So in India, mobile wallets, for example, is a form of payment. It moves money from one place to another, right? Extremely popular, especially right now with all the crisis going on. But UPI is another very, very powerful form of moving money that is already launched. Most people don't know about it yet, but in 1 year, we'll all know about it because the government is like working very hard to, especially under the current political environment, to propagate this. And this is a free form of moving money. It's very convenient, much more convenient than NEFT and IMPS and all those like typing in numbers, which an average person just cannot do. So this is the idea is to give a WhatsApp-like experience, and the idea is to build a platform where people, innovators, startups can write apps that are like just so brain-dead simple. You type in a WhatsApp number and money goes from one place to another. So our goal is to focus on the credit part of it. So we innovate on credit, we integrate with whatever the payment mechanism that is out there, whether it's UPI, whether it's a debit card, whether it's a credit card, prepaid card. There are a number of mobile wallets. There are a number of ways to move money from one place to another. But somebody has to provide you credit and evaluate you. They're saying, are you credit worthy? Should you be given money or are you too risky? Right? And that is our business. So what I would like to do is to show you a little demo. Let's see, do I need to click again? So this is what MoneyTap is. So MoneyTap is an app. You can download it from the Play Store. And when you start MoneyTap, it's a chatbot-based application, which means that it starts chatting with you. It's all computerized on the back end, but it looks like a WhatsApp app. And this is by design. We wanted it such that people kind of have a chat-like experience. What you're really doing is to filling out a sort of a complex form, but it doesn't look like it. So you type in, you have your Aadhaar card with you. I don't know if many of you have seen your Aadhaar card, but it basically looks like this. And it scans that and fills out all that information. Everybody takes a selfie. So you take a selfie. So none of those passport size photographs, you staple, all that business out of the door. right? So you type in which city you're living in, just a little bit about your marital status, and the whole thing is designed such that you are like what we call an assisted model, because in India we don't we always ask somebody for directions, right? Google Maps has all the information, but you go and ask the guy, where is it, this building, right? So this is kind of mimicking that kind of behavior. So it takes some basic information like your PAN number, asks you if you're making a salary, what your monthly income is, and all of the time we are background, we're verifying a whole bunch of other information about your phone, about who you are, and we're validating the PAN. So we use the GPS to pull out your location, so you don't have to type in your address. We take basically some, and if you already have your Aadhaar address is valid, you can just like tap it, and all that information is pre-filled. So it takes about 5 to 7 minutes. It's free to download. It's available on Play Store. And basically in about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes maximum, the whole application form is filled, right? We are in the process of regionalizing it. We're going to obviously make it in Hindi. That's why it's designed as a chat, right? So that we can change it. There are different people who will see different flows. So some people who are getting stuck, we'll ask them like more questions they can ask. So the whole thing is meant to be more like a question answer, kind of an interactive kind of interface. And before you know it, you already filled out all the information we need to evaluate you for credit. So as a next step, do I need to? So what happens once you fill out is that we partnered with several banks, and when you say I've filled out the information, one step that we always have is to sort of take you some time to sort of review the application, right? So again, in India, people fill out, if you go to the banks, they'll fill out 2 application forms because they're always afraid that they'll make a mistake in one of the forms, and the fair copy and a good copy kind of notion. So again, this came from experience. At first we launched without the review. People said, no, I want to make sure. So we do that because it's a serious application form. But essentially in 10 minutes, you get credit approved. We say yes or no in 10 minutes. Night or day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, bank holidays, whatever it is. So we have automatic API integrations with the bank. We have done some super sophisticated sort of credit algorithms in the back end to evaluate everything about you, to say, are you not worth credit, and how much? It could be 25,000 rupees, it could be 5 lakhs. It's in that range. Now the question is, okay, I do all of this, then so what? There is a step in the middle, which is basically what we call onboarding, where you do a eKYC and e-sign. But let's say and that takes about another, anywhere from 2 hours to 2 days. But once you're done, then the app sort of becomes your money on tap, right? It's money tap. It's available for you. You never have to talk to a banker again. And so after this initial process, which as I said, you again don't talk to a banker, it's just on your app, and you go through and you get credit evaluated, you get approved, you're done, then eKYC and e-sign basically take care of your paperwork to actually formally sign up with a bank, and then then you get money tap. So now this is the fun part. So basically once you start money tap, so let's say Kunal, my partner here, he's evaluated for 5 lakhs of credit limit. So night or day, he wakes up at 1 o'clock and says, I want some money. He can take 3,000 rupees, he can take 10,000 rupees, or he can choose anything up to his credit limit basically. So he can just move a slider and say, I want money. So in his case, he can go type in and say, I want 45,000 rupees because I have my cousin sisters getting married and the marriage hall needs to be booked, right? So at this time, he chooses how he wants to pay back. He can pay back in 3 months, he can pay back in 3 years, whatever he wants. And all of this is changing dynamically. EMI, interest rate, all of this is calculated. It's all transparent. Everything is shown here. Nothing, no hidden charges, nothing. And that's one thing that the banks don't do well. They stiff you with hidden charges all the time. And when you say hit the button, the money goes to either the person's bank account or the person's mobile wallet, or in some cases, the person's credit card. So the money is done. So the money will be there in 15 seconds in the bank account, right? So this is basically the product. So the initial part is a one-time part. It's a chat-based interface kind of to get you on board, but it's a one-time experience. Once you do, we partner with multiple banks and NBFCs, and we decide who is going to approve you, because we are not a lender ourselves. You have to be a bank or an NBFC in this country to lend. But our algorithms determine basically who's the best fit for you, and for the bank's point of view, who's the best customer for them. But once that is done, the linkage with the bank is made. After that, the money basically goes from the bank to the customer, and the customer can also repay in the app. At the end of the month, we show a bill saying your bill is due. Here are the 3 EMIs. You have to pay 8,400 rupees. They click the button. The money goes back from the customer's bank account to our partner, the lender bank account. So it's basically a line of credit available there 24/7. No usage. You don't use it, don't pay any interest. So money is available. Obviously, only if you use the money, you pay interest on it. Otherwise, you can just sit on the money for like 2 years. You don't have any use for it, no problem. But when you need it, the money is there. Again, the idea is that it's like a digital source of money. Like the money lender or the family serve that purpose. And in a digital world, we should be able to do this and do this for multiple people at scale, right? And now the cost of this is obviously just nearly zero, because our cost of it's all digital, right? There's no human beings involved here. So this is just one small example of, there are many other use cases where people are innovating on top of Aadhaar. This won't be possible if it was not for Aadhaar and UPI and e-sign. And so there are a lot of innovations which have happened, and we are doing something on top of all of it to solve one specific problem: consumer unsecured credit.